welcome to Temple of Heat. My name's Rob, and we're in the process of building this door. It goes in our blacksmith shop we've been working on. This is part 2. If you get a chance, check out part 1 where it goes over the door frame construction. There's also going to be a part 3 that goes over the hinge build and installing this door in the building. Thanks a lot for watching. Let's talk about the materials for our door. We're going to use an MDO plywood as the core of the door. It's going to be trimmed out in standard 1x6 pine boards that are cut up into the trim. It's got an angle cut on here so that way when the door is standing in place and it rains, the water will shed off the door and not collect against the joint and then possibly rot everything. A close-up of the trim, it's going to go together like this. This has an 11¼ degree angle on it. And so does this. And that's going to give us the water runoff that we need when the door is hanging. And the trim will fit together just like that. The reason that 11¼ degree angle was chosen was because it matches a router bit. There's going to be curved pieces on this door that you can't do with the table saw set at an angle. You have to have a router bit for it. Here's a close-up of the router bit. We have that 11¼ degree angle, and we're able to also match it on the end joint. When everything butts together, it'll be nice and tight. Okay, here's the core of our door. It's been trimmed out on the ends. Now we're going to look at the trim pieces that are going to go on just as decoration. These have to be cut to size yet. So that's going to be our next step on the router table. All of our parts have an 11¼ degree angle on them. That's because we need a slope for the water to run off. You don't want a 90-degree corner because the water could puddle against the trim and it'll cause a failure. You know, and this happens over years, but so this way you have a little slope. But why choose the degree 11¼ ? It's because I have a matching router bit, and that'll come in handy because we can, with the table saw, we can pick any angle we want. But when it comes to the curved parts, we need a way to bevel them the same, and that's why I picked that angle. These parts, the best way to make them with the equipment that I have available is by pattern routing. So what I do is I create the pattern and then I sand it so it's perfectly smooth, exactly what I want. I'll take and make the final piece rough blank and I attach the pattern to that. And you want to make sure when you're attaching the pattern that you leave meat everywhere to cut off. Now this sandwich is ready to go on the router table, and the guide bearing on the router bit is going to rub against the pattern. The profile of the cutter is going to give us our nice angle to match all of our other pieces. This is an extreme close-up of our setup. What we have is the pattern on top, the final piece on the bottom of the pattern, and the face that will show here on the door will be down against the router table. So we'll start the router, follow this pattern, and it'll profile our piece exactly the way we want it. we're done with the router table, I removed the screws from the pattern, and now we're going to take a look at the part. So here comes the pattern. We'll set that aside. This is actually the back of the part. Now we flip it over, and this is how the part is going to fit basically on the door. What's great about this is we have an exact same part, and we can make as many of them as we need until we damage the pattern. And we get a chance to look at it up close. We can see that their angle is on both sides, and what the reason for always doing pattern routing is it eliminates sanding. You only have to sand the pattern. After that, the router trims everything perfectly flush, and what you have is a finished piece when you bring it off the router table and remove the pattern. Let's take a look at how all this stuff is attached. We've got trim all over the door, and all it is a free piece. You apply the glue, and then you nail it in place. A lot of this stuff is just here to hold the screws that are going to hold the hinges on the door and stuff. So it gives the door thickness, because at these points the door is 1 3/4 inches thick. And then the whole purpose of this is where the hinge is going to go. Here's a mock-up of the hinge. The hinge will be mounted on there. There's plenty of meat to screw to. Okay, here's the door. It's in its frame. And the hinges are just a decoration right now, but that's how they're supposed to go. And this is the reason we built this door this style, because most hinges go inside, and the barrel is right here. These hinges are overlay hinges. So the next step is to paint everything and then install it in the building.